Ron Irui, Criso Venkatriv. Good morning, my strange people. I'm Rowan, and welcome to my home. We've got a single viewer via YouTube already. All right, that's interesting. Um, 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 um. So, anyway, yeah, with the title being what it is, um, I don't know. I'm hoping to um get at least a couple of viewers starting up before that thing goes on. Oh shit. Anyway, I'm hoping to milk the algorithm for donations because the Catos and I are good here through Thursday night, Friday AM. So I am going to need at least let's see, what's the current price that it's telling me. Shut up, Duolingo. Oh, Mary Mother God. No, screw this. Okay, I'll just. Okay, so what's it telling me about Friday night? Oh, fuck. Anyway, I had a bit of a day today, and that day involved a lot of yelling at whoa. Okay, so let's see. We're looking at roughly 110 per night. Friday night through Monday AM, and but and this is really the only place we can go. But wait, I hadn't. Oh crap. Anyway, today I went to the storage unit to get a few things. Including a. Okay, so amongst the various stuff and nonsense that's been stolen from me includes like a bunch of hard to find vintage crochet patterns, and that was stolen before things were set on fire. And so I had a couple of so I had a bit of an eBay spree before shit went up in flames to let's see, I thought I was going to be clever and get some of get some of them back in what I thought were going to be largely in lots, but I don't know. I guess most of the sellers dealing in these old mid 80s Marshall Cavendish crochet quick and easy binders are, I've been selling mostly empty binders. So now I've got a surplus of these, and I need to figure out which ones still have, some of the patterns in them that I'm looking for, and then divvy shit up. Maybe sell the binders for 10 a pop before shipping, and put up the surplus patterns for, like 2 or 3 each, just because I don't know, it's what makes the most sense right now. But where was I going with this? I don't know. Up my ass and around the corner. Oh, geez. Anyway, I'm tired right now because, like I said, I went to the storage unit today to get my medications because I was completely out as of, earlier today. Part of this was due to the fact that it was so goddamn cold yesterday, and I did go out yesterday. I didn't I did not get to the storage unit like I had hoped I would, and so like when I got to the storage unit today, just because of all the snow that had been there in the last week, snow and ice, and the last couple of days it had been too cold to snow, right? Like if you don't live this far north, you may not be aware of the fact that yes, it can be too cold to snow. Oh, but Aaron, what about what's going on in up in the Alaskan shit? Well, clearly it snows when it's not too cold to snow. Just I don't know what's difficult to understand about that kind of thing. But anyway, where was I going with this? I don't know. Who knows? Nobody. I sure as hell don't. What was I saying? Right. Okay, so okay. I'm going to I don't know. Anyway. So, what was I saying? I don't know. So, right. Right. I went to the storage unit today to get a bunch of shit, and like I said, because it had been snowing and icy and all of that, my storage unit was basically frozen shut, and I had to have an argument with the lock. And after I had an argument with the lock, I had an argument with the door. And after I got it open, I got what? I got my big bag of meds because I figured, well, I figured when I left that I would just bring the bag of meds back here. And then because another lot of these came by on the thing today. After the baby blankets, right? Okay. So anyway, when a couple of these arrived, I figured, okay, like the last one I bought before things went up in flames, I got the rest of these figuring, okay, I'm going to go through these and figure out which patterns I want to keep, which ones I'm okay with selling, sort things out, etc., etc. And I got a bunch of those. And then I had a second argument with the door because, it didn't want to close because snow and ice that was in front of the door before I lifted it up. After I lifted the door up, that snow and ice fell. And so I got into a long argument with the door trying to, get all the snow and ice back out from in front of the door or like under the door and inside the door and all of that. So then I had a second argument with the lock, and I lost that argument. Thankfully, things were closed at the after that point, and I am one of maybe a handful of people who who pays like something like 25 extra a month for 24-hour access. So I'm not too worried about things. In fact, this is not the first time that I've left the storage unit without putting the lock back on. It's a special kind of lock that like fits into the door slider thing, right? So so then what happens was just because of the specialty kind of lock that it's got and all that, I left a voicemail with the front desk on my way out. So like this is the first time I've intentionally left without the lock secured. So this means they're going to put a temporary lock, on there when they arrive in the morning. And I will come down either tomorrow or shortly after, or the next, or tomorrow or Thursday to put my own lock back on there, which it could be worse, of course, but this is a reprint. Yes, it is. It's not a very good reprint, but oh well. Okay, so so yeah, that's why I'm tired. I had an argument with my lock on my thing, and I lost the second argument. Like I said, I have to say though, this is not what maple leaves look like. No, it is not. I think I definitely want to keep this pattern, and I'm gonna make it for. Actually, I've got a few stoner friends. I can make each of them one. Oh, I've already found a second one of those. Okay. So so excuse me. So tonight's stream is not going to be as long as the as yesterday's, which was about 4 hours, because of the simple fact that, like I said, okay. So we got 2 of those already. No, but I've already seen a third of a couple of these. Okay. Yep. Wait, did I already do this? At least, no? Okay, yeah, this is not my own fuckery. All right. So I do like this pattern. It looks nice and simple. So, okay. I'll use that one as a place marker. So yeah, as to for why am I still sympathetic towards ChrisChan? Like, so I just saw the Keffels interview, and I like how Keffels was sympathetic, but without sugarcoating anything. Though I do kind of wish that she'd gone harder on Chris about the evidence that, like, no, the what did happen with Barb definitely happened with Barb, like, because it wasn't just Isabella Yank who who gotten Chris to say this, though that's, like, all Christine was willing to say in the interview, though I wouldn't be surprised if some was cut out. But I imagine if there was more that Christine had said about that, Keffels would have left it in. She doesn't like to sugarcoat stuff, but yeah, I do kind of wish that she'd gone on a little bit harder on Chris's bizarre lie that, like, no, this was manipulated out of her somehow. Because I'm like, no, there were 3 instances, as we went over last night with the Gibby video, whose channel's been renamed Lore Cattle Ranch. So, excuse me. Chris had like I said, like, kind of bragged about it to 3 people, established. And I figure if anybody, like anybody else, who had significant evidence of, Chris, kind of like teasing about this, in the, sort of like teaser kind of way that Chris did in the email to Joshua Moon, then it would have come out by now. But so yeah, to 3 with the receipts, this has been like, and you can tell from what does exist of the phone call recording that this was not something that was that Isabella Yankee had somehow tricked Christine into saying. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed with that part, but it otherwise, like I said, it's sympathetic but without sugarcoating, and that's kind of where I see my personal opinion on ChrisChan the last couple years. That like, I'm not going to sugarcoat the fact that Christine has done some patently awful shit, including the mother effing. Oh, I forgot to turn on the chat visibility on my end. Oh, hello. So Foxy Hybrid says, hello there, Eternal Lurker, watched Lowe's but never said anything. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. And Jack Straw, it's too cold to be leaving medication in storage unit. Yeah, well, the storage units do have some minor climate control in there, because people will store their like people have like large record collections in some of these storage units, but still, it's like I mean, shit, it was probably too cold for some of the stuff to come back with me in, the personal, like personal, like, I bought it at a store, like that kind of like shopping or, utility card. I see them referred to sometimes as, but yeah, I had an argument with the storage unit getting the lock to slide all the way back in. So yeah, that's gonna, I get to go back on Wednesday or Thursday about that. Anyway, oh hey, there's a second one of those. Okay, sweet. So yeah, but yeah, I do think Keffels did make the right choice in doing the interview pre-recorded, because comments would have been a complete shit show otherwise. And it's like, I do not envy her mods. But yeah, as to why I'm still kind of sympathetic towards ChrisChan, basically, I think Chris got a really raw deal out of life, and so many things went wrong that, if things had gone in any other direction, Chris's life could have been probably not great, but a lot, like measurably better than it is now. And excuse me. And I mean, you can say that about a lot of people, sure, but I don't know. I think like in the relative explosion of notoriety that Daniel Larson has had, since Christine went to jail in August of 2021. Because you gotta admit, like, Danderson did kind of like fill that niche that that there was, a hole, did fill the hole that had now been empty, by Chris Chandler being in jail for almost 2 years. But where was I going with this? Right, yeah, that like in the relative rise of Danderson's notoriety, since Chris first went to jail in 2021, like Daniel Larson makes Christine look so much more functional, and it also really kind of highlights that, like, people were speculating that Chris might have had schizoaffective disorder before, she went to jail. But, like I said, like the rise of Danderson's notoriety since has kind of given the internet a clear distinction between what is the bipolar schizoaffective spectrum and what is, like delusional disorder not otherwise defined, or delusional personality disorder, and what is just mere eccentricities. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if ChrisChan does have some kind of delusional disorder with this, ardent belief in the dimensional merge. But it definitely does not seem like, anywhere on the bipolar schizoaffective spectrum. Daniel Larson, though, very clearly schizophrenic. And oh, yay! Argyle Dinosaur! That's my friend Lucifer, and he's pretty damn cool. And but yeah, unfortunately, like, this is going to be a shorter stream tonight versus yesterday, because I am so tired. As I said, I had an argument with my storage unit door, and I'm not feeling much better about it after getting back. And I am only paid up through um, 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 Thursday evening. So I got to shake my moneymaker somehow. But where was I going? Right, yeah. But yeah, like compared to Daniel Larson, ChrisChan just seems kind of, like aside from the mother effing, Christine seems like compared to Daniel Larson, kind of wholesome, right? Like there is some serious evidence that in addition to everything that is wrong with Daniel Larson's mental health, that he is indeed a pedo fork, as as Christine might say. Um and and but yeah, the evidence for that is at least pretty damn compelling. And I know there are some people who sympathize, like Papa Gut, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, like I understand that Daniel Larson's got some serious mental health problems going on, but this is also very clearly separate from that. And it's not like mental illness cancels out the possibility of anything else, or at least that sort of thing. And so yeah, I understand where the sympathies are coming from. You see this guy who's clearly got some major unmanaged schizophrenia, like Daniel Larson, as I said in to somebody on a Catboy Ranch, the Keffels thing. Pedo fork, that's a new word. Yeah, like the old ChrisChan video where then he coins it, says, "I'm not a pedo fork, you dorks." So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's now an internet neologism, and sure, why not? I mean, it's ultimately a Chrisism at the end of the day, or quickism, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, Daniel Larson has given me like this newfound like respect for ChrisChan, because like when you look at like all the shit like ChrisChan has been through over the years, and the fact that and I mean, yeah, Daniel Larson's got some seriously unmanaged schizophrenia, and um and that's its own you know issue completely. But like the fact that ChrisChan has been able to hold her shit together as much as she has, which yeah, it's kind of involved like indulging in some delusions on occasion, but like when you consider like the barrage of bullshit Chris has dealt with over the last 20-ish years on the internet, it's like, yeah, like a lesser person would have like just logged off and stayed off. And so like the story of ChrisChan is, if nothing else, a story of perseverance in the face of all odds, for better or for worse. Which, yeah, like the mother effing was definitely the worst. And like that's as bad as it can get. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm mildly disappointed that that Keffels didn't go a little bit harder on that, but also at the same time, I understand that that like some semblance of trust needed to be maintained. So yeah, let Christine like lie through her teeth about about that. So, just to, keep the trust going and all that. So yeah. Yeah, like I said, other than that, I thought it was a pretty solid interview that, it was, clearly coming from a sympathetic angle, but without, a, uh, a want or need to sugarcoat anything, because just let Chris be weird, and you don't have to, as I've been saying to people, like, one of the big reasons that a lot of people have been very um um wanting a hands-off approach to um trolling ChrisChan is, left to her own devices, Chris will say all sorts of weird shit all on her own. Like, you do not have to try to get ChrisChan to do and say all manner of crazy ass shit. And if you think you have to try, if you think you have to go out of your way to make it happen, then you are in the wrong line of things, right? Like, you need to find a better hobby. You because and of course these things aren't perfectly in line, and I'm gonna have to slip them on individually. I got them all off as a mess of things, but let's try two at a time. But yeah, did I enjoy the interview? Of course, it's more ChrisChan content, and as I just said, like, you do not have to try to get Chris to do and say all manner of wacky shit. Like, though I will have to say that one of the things that I did find entertaining was oh god, the way that Joshua Moon was just like going off on these paranoid rants on Twitter about the upcoming ChrisChan interview, because Keffels was part of the big like drop Kiwi Farms, which everybody likes to point out, oh well, Kiwi Farms is still up, and I'm like, well, yeah, but it's also become a shell of its former self. It's nowhere near as thriving as it once was. So there is that. And plus, like, the goal wasn't to, permanently get Kiwi Farms off the internet forever. It was to get them to drop, their longtime server host to drop them. That's why the campaign was drop Kiwi Farms, was to pressure Cloudflare hosting service to to drop them, that get get the make make it clear that Kiwi Farms is a bigger liability than Cloudflare should be willing to deal with. That was the point of the Drop Kiwi Farms campaign, not to wait, what is this? All right, tablecloths and placemats. Not to drive the site off the internet forever, but to get their server farm to drop them, so that they would have to go to a lesser service and make it harder for them to get a, you know, more lenient host, you know, web host in the, you know, after this. So but yeah, like Joshua Moon has been like a paranoid little dipshit on Twitter, was just like going on about like oh my gosh, like, you know, I'm sure Keffel is gonna like try to get Chris to drop to spill all sorts of dirt on me. Lucifer says, okay, Jethro is yelling at me to go to bed, so I should probably listen to him, but I'm happy you to have made it to a stream at all. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, feel free to message me tomorrow if you're still on for a minute or two. Oh, right. This is given the real for some reason my laptop, the clock on my laptop is like 7 minutes faster than everything else, but it's like I noticed this during last night's stream that the timestamps on chat are the actual time, not the time on my laptop clock, and I have no idea how to reset it. I've got it. I said, you know, I put the settings to, you know, line up with like, you know, the Microsoft atomic clock thing, whatever, but I don't know. It's still 7 minutes fast. It's still 7 minutes faster than the rest of the world, and you'd think since it's a laptop from the future now that shit would do what it's supposed to, but I guess not. Oh well. Anyway, where's I going with this? All right, tablecloths and placemats. But anyway, so the fact that in the interview, like nothing re Joshua Moon came up at all, just was that ended up being the funniest part of it to me. It was just, you know, it ends and I'm like and I like skim through the drama posting channel on the Catboy Ranch server, and it occurs to me, oh right, yeah, nothing about little neo-Nazi shit for brains ever came up at all, did it? No. Oh, that's got to be, and you know, that's something. But anyway, like I said, it's you know, as for the mother effing, you know, like people have asked me, oh, how can you stay sympathetic towards ChrisChan after the mother effing? And I'm like, you know, when you look at the situation, this was, I mean, yes, it was an incident that never should have happened. But you know, I look at it this way. We've got, you know, somebody whose mental health has never been great, and as was brought up by Trash Panda last night during the stream, you can say that, you know, a form of like an emotional incest was already being laid down, that, you know, Barb with her her brain basically turning to cottage cheese through dementia is you know, this was a situation that, you know, just seems almost depressingly inevitable when that is because of the declining mental health of Barb, and the fact that Chris has always been at least mildly, always had a mildly dubious relationship with reality. It just seemed depressingly inevitable, and I'm not saying that this makes Chris blameless. I'm just saying that it's depressingly understandable, all things considered, that, you know, and I'm not saying that, you know, I'm definitely not gonna make any excuses for it, and I'm just saying that it's a thing that happened. Should it have happened? No. Does that do I wish to afford Chris any excuses or a pass on any of this? Absolutely not. I just think that the situation is a bit more complex than a lot of people are willing to admit. People who have been keeping a close eye on ChrisChan a lot longer than I have, and or at least a lot more consistent. Because I brought up yesterday that, like, I technically encountered ChrisChan before something awful found out about her, you know, than him. So, like, definitely a lot more consistently than I have. Let's put it that way. That, oh, wait. Anyway. So, yeah, you know, I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm just saying that, you know, considering the complexities of the situation, especially regarding the mental health of all parties involved, it just, in retrospect, seemed depressingly inevitable, right? Like, I'm not saying that, you know, like, again, I'm not saying that makes it good or okay or in any way excuses anything. I'm just saying that it happened, and eventually we should move on from this. Yeah, it sucks that it happened, and but you know, it sucks that it happened. I wish it didn't. Not because I feel, you know, like any special sympathies toward Barb. I mean, by all accounts, Barbara Chandler was a terrible mother to Chris, to her her first kid, Cole. Barb was, by all accounts, you know, not a good mother, and definitely seemed to be using Chris at some point in their, you know, always uncomfortable. Like, people have been noticing for years just like how weird those two would seem with each other out in public. But yeah, it just, I don't know. It just, you know, it seemed that that she had been using Chris to, like, fill this hole in herself from not having, you know, from like being a widow and, probably feeling shitty about herself, being like at that point in her 60s, early 70s. So yeah, like I said, from the combination of things, it seemed depressingly inevitable, and in a way it kind of makes me feel worse for Chris, because like, now that it's happened, and now in the the video from Real Tech USA or something, that Gibby at Lorcal Ranch was, granted, like, Gibby kind of like debunked that video in his own video like a couple of months ago, but we went over it in last night's stream. Where was I going with this? Right. Yeah, like when he pointed out that Christine seemed, like legit, ashamed of herself, like in the facial expression and the really weird ways that Chris has tried to avoid talking about it since then when it comes up. Um, oh, frick. I am so tired. I'm so tired. Like I said, okay, these are all different ones. Okay, so I'm gonna end the stream. Like I said, it's a lot earlier than I ended the yesterday one, but I'm tired. I had an argument with my storage unit, and I lost the last battle, but oh well, it's crap that happened. And if you I don't know, if this fulfills your curiosity, feel free to, excuse me, go to my Ko-Fi page. It's supposed to, warm up in the next few days, but not by much. Like today, it was all of like, I want to say 4 degrees at the warmest part of the day, and it's supposed to be in like the teens and 20s this coming week. So and the cats and I are only paid through Thursday night, and just as kind of a, like, an ode to the Keffel's ChrisChan interview that I watched earlier. I'm going to make an obligatory Pokemon reference, and neither of my cats know how to perform Payday. So yeah. Oh, crap. Oh, I'm so full of snot because I was arguing with my storage unit door. And I'm tired. And I need to take a bath. I've got a nice lavender bath bomb, and I've got my and I've got some soup, some yummy soup. Chicken tortilla soup. So that's going to be nice. Gonna have my goddamn chicken soup, and I'm gonna have a bath with a lavender bath bomb, and I'm gonna. Oh right, I need to I need to finish up the sweater that I've been working on for myself as, like kind of a sample. And I'm going to use this one as a sample because I did bork up a couple of the flowers on the daisy loom. But after I get to after I finish up the ribbing for my own sweater, I'm going to start a unicorn hat for my niece in in pink and lavender, and I'm going to send it to her for Valentine's Day. Oh, that's what I forgot to get. Oh, I'm going back to the storage unit tomorrow. I forgot to get a poncho that I made for my aunt for her birthday like a couple of months ago. And well, my aunt's birthday is like next week. So so yeah, I should go good thing I'm going back to the storage unit tomorrow. All right. All right. Be sure to drink plenty of water, take your meds if you need them, and um, and otherwise take good care of yourself. Hug your kitties tight, and all of that, and otherwise have exactly the kind of day you deserve. Bats and kisses. Nosta achwil.